In the headlines, NEMA military commenced airlifting of trapped flood victims in Anambra. Katsina residents say dilapidated roads contribute to rising insecurity. National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control warns on cough syrup from Gambia. And on the foreign scene, multiple blasts rock central Kyiv, several Ukrainian cities. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Dashan Husseina Usman. And now the news in detail. The National Emergency Management Agency and Disaster Response Unit of the military have commenced an aerial view operation to ascertain persons displaced or trapped by the rising floods in Anambra State. While speaking on Monday in Awka, Zonal Coordinator NEMA Southeast Thickman Tanimu said the operation will aid in the airlifting of trapped persons in the affected communities. Tanimu reveals that the Presidency and the Director General of NEMA, Mustafa Ahmed Habib, welcome his rating with the state government and flood victims, including the bereaved, approved the relief materials which would be presented directly to flood victims on Tuesday. He said the delay in the arrival of the relief materials is due to the flood disaster that caught off the Abuja-Lokoja road and also the security situation due to the Monday sit-at-home in the southeast. Away from that story, the gallery of Kogi State House of Assembly was gutted by fire in the early hours of Monday. Director of the Kogi Fire Service, Salau Uzigi, said the fire did not extend beyond the chamber and gallery of the assembly complex. The cause of the inferno has not been ascertained at the time of filing this report. And however, Speaker of the Assembly, Prince Matthew Kolawole, blamed the incident on sabotage and said security agencies would investigate the incident. Details of the story will be in our subsequent bulletin. The Bichir Wurma Zaka 40-kilometer rural feeder road in Kurfi local government area of Katsina State is in a state of disrepair. The road was constructed during the military administration of General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida by the then Department of Rural Roads Infrastructure. Abdullahi Ahmadi has more.
There are over 17 communities living along this road, mostly crops and livestock farmers. Residents are finding it difficult to transport farm produce to markets and their sick families to hospitals, especially during emergencies. Health, education, and all other social activities here are affected by bad roads. The lives of over 3 million people along this road will be better if this road is fixed. Bandits will have no hiding place, and many residents who fled their communities will return because peace will be restored. Similarly, at the height of insecurity,
We apologize for the poor video in that report. Moving away from that story, hundreds of supporters of the ruling All Progressives Congress in Lagos staged a solidarity walk in support of the APC presidential candidate Bola Tinubu and his running mate, Senator Kashim Shettima. The rally, tagged 5 Million Man Walk, was also in support of the re-election bid of the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. The APC supporters defied the early morning downpour to converge on the Teslim Balogun Stadium in Surulere, venue of the rally. The crowd, in a carnival-like gathering, walked from the stadium through Ikorodu Road and converged on Bolade Oshodi. Nollywood stars, musicians and others came in different colors of insignia bearing Tinubu and Sanwo-Olu.
If you want Nigeria to be great again, vote Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Vote Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Don't tell me say I did not tell you. If you want Nigeria to be great again, Jagaba for president.
If you love Tinubu, love Sanwo-Olu, please roll on.
Tinubu is a great man. He's a gentleman. He's an honest man. Everybody to vote for Tinubu because Tinubu is a nice father.
Still in politics, new Nigerian People's Party presidential candidate Rabiu Kwankwaso says major political parties in Nigeria will be surprised as his party will win the 2023 presidential election. Kwankwaso addressed the crowd of supporters during an official commissioning of Kano State NNPP campaign office Sunday evening. Kwankwaso believes that the party has gathered momentum to win elections in Kano and Nigeria, noting that the party is fast growing as it is competing with major parties in the country within a short period. The crowd repeatedly chanted Kwankwaso's name while they waited for his arrival. Nasarawa State chapter of the People's Democratic Party says it is not part of the camp that pulled out from the Presidential Campaign Council named by Atiku Abubakar. Chairman of the party in the state, Francis Orogu, stated this during an interaction with journalists in Lafia, the state capital. Abubakar Abdullahi sent in this report as presented from our studio.
Speaking to journalists on the recent decision taken by Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike and his camp to pull out from the PDP Presidential Campaign Council, the Nasarawa State PDP chairman Francis Orogu said no party members from the state is among those that took the decision in Port Harcourt. The chairman says the party will deliver the state in 2023 elections for its presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar. He explained that the party members' loyalty lies with the constitution of the party and took, therefore, the support based on the members for Atiku Abubakar.
As long as the party is concerned in National State, we have nobody, no individual has pulled out of a campaign council of His Excellency, the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. We know that he's the candidate, and we have none of our campaign, what do you call it? And none of our none of the appointed member of the campaign council, whether the national body has pulled out from the campaign council.
While speaking on calls for the resignation of the national chairman of the party, Ihayu Ayu, Orogu maintained that the resignation of the chairman should be at the discretion of the national chairman.
My candidates or me as a #1 citizen of this party in this state have no business with the national chairman being in the office or not. It is his choice. They are quoting his statement. That statement can be ambiguous, can be explicit, depending on the angle you want to see it from that suits your interest. And it is also his right constitutionally to remain in the office and constitutionally to resign if he chooses to. But it's no more business. It's not our business to go and force him out of the office. We can't do that because he has the right to remain in the office for the period of the 4 years that he was elected.
On the chances of the PDP to reclaim power in Nasarawa State, Orogu said the chances of the party is clear because of the unity and common interests of members.
Former Plateau State Governor Joshua Dariye has said his conviction on corruption charges filed by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission was politically motivated. Dariye, who stated this during an interview on Channels, said his case was political in the sense that the same charge was taken to Kaduna High Court. Justice Liman dismissed the case. During the interview, Dariye gave a breakdown of the amount he was accused of stealing, saying 800 million naira went into the Plateau State account, 100 million naira was disbursed to the People's Democratic Party Southwest, 100 million naira went to the campaign organization of ex-President Olusegun Obasanjo, among others. On the exact money missing, the ex-governor put the figure at just 4 million naira, describing the sum as the commission on turnover. According to the former Plateau governor, he would have laundered the money in commission and turnover if he wanted to steal. About 58 illegal oil points have been discovered so far since the operation to end oil theft on the waterways of Delta and Bayelsa states began. Ex-militant leader, government Ekpemukpolo, also known as Tompolo, said this in a press briefing at Okporosa on Sunday, where he also gave an update on the recent discovery of a 4-kilometer illegal crude oil pipeline in the Focados area of Delta State. According to him, with this breakthrough, stakeholders in the region are optimistic that the war against crude oil theft will be won. Tompolo also commended the efforts of the military and the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited for collaborating with him on the operation, promising to do everything possible to bring the menace to a halt. Ahead of the 2023 elections, Nigerians have been urged to live in peace and harmony with one another for progress, growth, and development of their beloved country. Participants gave the advice during the annual Languages Day organized by Faculty of Languages, Federal College of Education, Yola. Trustee Visalis Lawang has more.
This year's annual Languages Day at the Federal College of Education, Yola, had different tribes in attendance. Organized by the Faculty of Languages, Federal College of Education, Yola, stakeholders said it was purposely to celebrate unity in diversity and educate the younger ones on needs to embrace one another, especially in view of the current situations of the country.
As you have seen the cultural display, you have seen the cuisines, the food that have been served. We are united in this country. It is not by accident. It is our destiny to live together and one. And in the School of Languages, what we do is annually to come together. Next year, perhaps if you come around, you will see me in yet different regalia as a Yoruba man, depicting that we are one and indivisible people.
It was a moment of cultural truce, and their regalia dancing majestically, showcasing their identity as Nigerians. It is often said culture is the way of life, encompassing mode of dressings, dancings, foods, ethics, values, among others, within a given society. Stakeholders said the Languages Day and cultural celebration will not have come at a better time than now, where the importance of unity, love, respect, and care is more than stressed among Nigerians.
I'm happy that my people here remember where they come from. In fact, they are joined, both the non-indigenous, non-Igbos and the Igbos.
This is a Federal College of Education. To be doing such a thing here is highly impressive. It's ideal.
Apparently, most of cultures teach honesty, optimism, hard work, gratitude, courage, among other good values. From Yola, Salis Lawan, Trust TV News.
You're watching Trust News Update, coming up after the break. A look at the cultural identity of the Borno people. Do stay with us.
Which kind of you gonna need to light up your light? Oh man, the quality wire. Now which kind of cable you gonna need to light up your house? Oh man, the quality cable. Coleman quality. Coleman wire. Coleman durable. Coleman cable. Coleman can't. Coleman cable for any kind of project. Come and be the come and see, come and see. Come and be the Coleman won't light up your light. Come and be the come and see. Come and be the C-O-L-E-M-A-N. Quality, quality. Put a bull. Oh yeah. Come and be the Baba.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. You're still watching Trust News Update. Here's a recap of some of our top stories. We told you that NEMA military commenced airlifting of trapped flood victims in Anambra. We also told you that Katsina residents say dilapidated road contribute to rising insecurity. Moving to health, the National Agency for Food, Drug Administration and Control has warned healthcare providers and the public against the use of 4 substandard and contaminated cough syrups, which have caused the death of 66 children in Gambia. In a public health advisory issued by NAFDAC on Sunday, it stated it never registered the medicines, therefore it should not be in circulation in the country. They include promethazine oral solution, Cofexmalin baby cough syrup, Makeoff baby cough syrup, and Magrip cold syrup. It disclosed that the dangerous pediatric cough syrups were being circulated in Gambia. NAFDAC said laboratory analysis of samples of the 4 products confirmed that they contain unacceptable amounts of diethylene glycol and ethylene glycol as contaminants, which are toxic to humans when consumed and can prove fatal. Desperate attempts by a tramadol drug cartel to smuggle into Nigeria through the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, over 2,565,000 tablets of pharmaceutical opioids had been foiled by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. The consignment in 225 milligrams and 250 milligram tablets weighed 2,356 kilograms with an estimated street value of 1.04 billion naira. The bust coincides with the conviction and sentencing of a notorious drug dealer, Surajo Mohammed of Ojo, Lagos, to 7 years imprisonment by the Federal High Court in Lagos, 10 months after his arrest by the NDLEA. Here's the report.
The seizure of the drug on Friday came barely a week after about 13.5 million pills of the same opioid worth over 8.88 billion naira were recovered by NDLEA operatives from one of the mansions of a billionaire drug baron in the Eyebrow Residential Estate, Victoria Garden City, VGC, Lekki, Lagos. Following credible intelligence, the agency had shown interest in the consignment of 52 cartons that came into Nigeria from Karachi, Pakistan, with 6 different airway bills, comprising 7 cartons of 250 milligram of a brand called Tamral and 45 cartons of 225 milligram banned as Trama King. Soon after its arrival at the Lagos airport, the NDLEA called for a joint examination of the consignment with other stakeholders, and after its information was confirmed by all, the 52 cartons of the seized substance, which are above the recommended threshold for medical use and banned in the country, were moved to the agency's facility. In the same vein, another bid to export through the airport is 15 parcels of cannabis and 600 grams of tramadol of 225 milligram concealed in a sack of crayfish to Dubai, United Arab Emirates, was equally thwarted by operatives who seized the consignment and subsequently arrested a freight agent, Osao Alex Ekweme, who presented it for export. Meanwhile, drug dealer Surajo Mohammed, who was arrested with 941.15 kilograms of cannabis in 2021, was sentenced to 7 years imprisonment by a federal high court in Lagos. A judgment delivered on Thursday by Justice Yelin Dogoro, however, gave the convict an option of 7 million naira fine. Weeks after NDLEA operative intercepted 5.20 kilograms of cannabis concealed in kegs of palm oil going to Dubai at the narco export shed of the airport, the brain behind the consignment, Ifeanyi Chukwuemeka, has been arrested in Igadu area of Lagos. Commending the officers and men of the agency, the NDLEA chairman, Brigadier General Buba Marwa, retired, urged them to remain steadfast, resolute, and unrelenting until the last grams of illicit drugs were removed from the streets of Nigeria.
Kube is a cap amongst the several fashions adopted in northern Nigeria, particularly in Borno State. This costume serves several functions, from protecting the wearer from the scorching sun to a display of wealth and affluence. These caps play an essential role in society, as maturity and responsibility are well ascribed to the wearer. Kurutsi Beatrice takes a look at the history of the cap and how familiar residents can differentiate the designs from other states. The report.
Kube caps can be traced back to ancient times that was largely undocumented in northern Nigeria. Most men in this region wear the caps on native attire, popularly called kaftan, not just for fashion but identity. It's worn during special occasions such as Salah celebrations, naming ceremonies, and weddings. Kube cap plays an essential role in society, as maturity and responsibility are well ascribed to wearers. It has many designs, sizes, and different names named after notable people who first wore them. Babagana Mukhtar is adding some caps to his collection, but how well can he identify other caps beside Borno designs?
I don't know the ones from other states because they are not Borno made. I only know one called Minister and few others. Most of the ones that we don't know, they bring them from other states.
Miaram de Kola, and it's made in Maiduguri. Yeah.
For we in Maiduguri, we wear the cap often, not only when you want to look good or you are nicely dressed, but some people from other places feel like wearing it only on wedding days.
It takes over 20 or more days to design and complete a cap, and each design has a special name attached to it, like the Rawaram cap, named after an old female singer from Bama town.
Yeah, it was named after a woman singer who is known to be singing in Kanuri in the olden days, particularly early 50s and then early 60s. So she picked the cap by then, and she prayed after the cap that they should name after her, and it's named after her, and up to now it is named. When you want it, you say Rawaram as he said.
You know, say when you came from Borno, if you're not using this cap, you are not a qualitative man. If you are from Borno, if you where then they call this color captain or this thing, where our people we are calling it Zaria or Hausa people. So if you wear captain, you will use this cap, so the cap will fit you.
An individual, either you are married or you are not married, you can wear the cap. But mostly responsible people that knows who they are and what they are the ones that must be wearing the cap. Because if you are up to a certain stage that you are not even wearing the cap, even they will tell you that, oh, why you don't have the cap at this age or when you are now in this position. So this is where the issue comes in.
It is indisputable that almost all Nigerians are associated with one form of cap or the other, but ethnic groups use the Kube cap, though not part of their tribal dressing.
And finally, away from Nigeria, several loud blasts rocked central Kyiv and other Ukrainian cities early on Monday. Local officials say a day after an explosion on a bridge linking Russia to occupied Crimea sparked calls for reprisals in Moscow. The explosions came as the UN General Assembly is set to open debate on a draft resolution condemning Russia's annexation of 4 Ukrainian regions. And with this, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. Thanks for watching.